Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange. And this is our show after the Super Bowl. I guess everybody has a Super Bowl hangover. But what better way to spend your hangover time with us, Real Talk Baseball Power Hour? So before we begin, I want to see how Ernie's doing over there. How you doing over there, dude?
Oh man, we're out here surviving. It was one of those tough losses for once in our lifetime. Watching my Niners being this close to winning the Super Bowl, man, it really hurts me. But that's sports for you guys, and it teaches you how close you could win. The game is of inches, and we came that close, but unfortunately, we got to move on. And there will be more football in the future, and got to hope the Niners win in the next following season.
Dude, you know what? It's like any sport. I know a lot of people hate to hear it, but it's like any sport. There's always next year, right? And I honestly feel, and I can feel every 49er fan, because in 2017, when the Dodgers lost that World Series, before we even knew the Astros were cheating and all that other separate stuff, it didn't feel right. It just felt like, oh man, like,
You were
do I have to
crushed.
go to work? Do I have to go do this? I don't feel like doing none of it, but I mean, it is what it is. We're here to cheer you up. And every
Yeah,
other
man.
49er fan out there, if you need to get cheered up, here we are talking baseball, because baseball's coming up. Football season's done. So we do
Yes.
have a good show for everybody. And we're going to talk about where is Cody Bellinger going. There's a little bit of traction, a little bit of news from Scott Boras, I guess, saying that they're close to signing him. He has other clients. We talked about that last week. And, the Mets aren't in trouble because this guy doesn't work for them, but he did work for them last year. And we're going to talk about Billy Epppler, what happens with him. Vlad Guerrero had a breaking record arbitration deal. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the A's, and we'll talk about Trevor Bauer. Who's going to want him now? Like, hopefully someone signs him. And if you have the ability to sign him, would you sign him, Ernie? We'll talk about it right now, man. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Message us wherever you want to, in any platform we have going in social media. If it's there, you bet we're there pretty much. So we'll go ahead and get started, man. The news right now is where is Cody Bellinger going? There's been traction about the Phillies talking about signing him, and Scott Boras has these other players that he hasn't signed. So it's getting kind of late in the offseason, and then pitchers and catchers already reported for two teams. I mean, that's pretty crazy that they haven't signed, right?
It's kind of concerning. We are getting closer to spring training. These players have to be signing anytime now. And now with the football season being over, I hope Scott Burrows gets some phone calls ready and start making some calls, because this is looking really bad for the game of baseball. And it's looking like we need to get rid of this guy, man. It's not for the off season, but
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger's obviously a great player. He had a great comeback season last year. He hit 26 home runs with 97 RBIs, hit over 300 for the Cubs in one season. Now, he wants more for that, right? He proved himself. And that's the goal. You going into your free agency, you play well, and you deserve to get paid. I know the Cubs offered him a $20 million qualifying offer. He rejected it. He wants more money. He has been wanting more along the lines of $200 million, and it's deserving. I know there is kind of that worrisome, like the way he played towards the end with the Dodgers, but the way he played last year in Wrigley, you would think the Cubs would make a move right now, man. They had a really quiet off season. Their biggest move was their coach getting Craig Counsell, a lefty outfielder, which I thought, why would he not waste time and go for Cody Bellinger right away? A guy that could teach him how to even play even better, being himself, that he was a lefty himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Go
Go
ahead.
for it, man. I think the Cubs need to make a move. I know Cub fans are feeling desperate out there, and they want to see their team compete this year. So
Dude, so I was just gonna add, like, I think the Cubs are filled. Like, I don't know. I don't think the Cubs need him out in the outfield. Uh yeah, it'll be great if he's out there. He played there last year, so it'll be one of those things where, like, okay, he played here last year, let's give him a little contract, let's have him here. But I think the Cubs are gonna do okay without him, because they have a bunch of rookies out there, and they're doing okay. The teams that, if you're a Dodger fan and you love Cody Bellinger, you're gonna hate that the either the Giants or the Padres, one of those two teams are in the
What about
mix
the
too,
Astros?
and the Astros, dude. So that's another one. So, uh, like I said, if you're a Dodger fan and you're hearing that Cody Bellinger might go to either those three teams, I don't think a lot of people mind him going to Philadelphia, even though Philadelphia has a big time team right now. Everybody's out there playing for the Phillies, and I guess they're still kind of in the mix of being the favorite to win the World Series. But I mean, I guess that what I'm trying to say is Cody Bellinger's a great outfielder, and if he goes to the Padres, I think it'll help him out a lot. If he goes to the Giants, it'll help him out even more because you know how in San Francisco there's a big outfield, and he's a fast dude. So if he goes out there, I would kind of not like it, but I mean it is what it is, right? That he has to play somewhere.
Hey
But
man,
another thing,
he
and
has to
another
get
thing,
paid. He
he
has
has
to
to
get
get
paid.
paid. He has to get paid. He is asking for a lot of what's it called? A lot of what do you call it? He has a lot of dough. I didn't want to say money, but a lot of dough. I'm trying to stay hip a little bit.
Uh,
What's
uh,
up, Will? Ernie, Carlos,
hey
not so
man,
much. Hey, too bad.
I was trying to tell my friends I'm trying to be that Niners Dodger fan now. Can I join?
That's what it is, man, dude. You know what? Talking about that, dude, there was a one play on the Super Bowl that I just mentioned to you before we started the show. I know this is a baseball, platform, but it's not bad to talk about what happened in the game. I don't know if you guys saw the game. I'm pretty sure you did. Kelsey went up to his coach Andy Reid and kind of bumped him, almost knocked him down, dude. So I don't like that. I don't like that, they glorify this man after they won the World Series with, the Swifty or whatever, all the
Ah,
crap was happening, but like, I don't know if that would have happened to any other player, it would have been like, why are you allowing this to happen? Why is
okay,
this happening? So, like, it's not just in football, it's in any sport. You got to respect your coach. And if
that's
there's,
true.
right? If there's young kids out there watching that, that's not acceptable. I just disagree with all that. Yeah, congratulations if you're a Chiefs fan and all that stuff, but that play right there, to me, it was just disrespectful. I don't care how much you guys get along, right?
Oh
So
man, the question is, would that fly in the MLB if a
no,
player was to
no,
come to a dugout and push their coach like that a little bit?
no, I wouldn't, dude. If I see that, like everybody's talking junk about Tim Anderson, and I guess the Dodgers are tied up to that right now. The Dodgers are one of the teams that are looking to try to get Tim Anderson. He has an attitude. Everybody knows that. So no one's even getting close to him because of that, dude. So it is what it is, dude. I just wanted to mention that. I didn't want to sidetrack from our show because we're a baseball channel. But when it comes
Right.
to things that are disrespectful in sports, we can talk about it. Why not? We don't want it to
Yeah.
happen in our sport in baseball because if it does happen in baseball, we'll get to hear it and we'll get to talk about it. But we're kind of like, we don't respect that guy. Whatever. So Cody Bellinger, where do you think he's going to land? Do you think he's going to land out here in the West Coast, or he's going to go out to the east? To the east?
Man, it's definitely gonna be a West Coast team. I feel like the Phillies have too much money they have to spend other places, and there's like more need for the teams in the NL West, like the Giants and Padres, like you mentioned. And another team, my Angels are out there, and they also are desperately need some more better players out there. We just lost the best hitter in our generation, so we need to add more depth to our roster. So hey man, and like Will says, he may resign with the Cubs. I think if they have to make a move, it has to be the Cubs. The
Yeah.
NL Central is up for grabs, and why not add Cody Bellinger? He's proven hitter, and it looks like he could bat really well in Wrigley after that last season.
Yeah, yeah, and not a lot of people like playing in Wrigley. It's really cold out there, so I mean, look for that to happen if it does happen. And you heard it here. Hopefully, I'm just gonna say he's gonna probably sign with the Giants, man. As much as that hurts
Oh,
me, it's just gonna happen, dude. But it is what it is. Let's move on, man. Let's talk about you know Rob Manfred actually had someone suspended, and they didn't even use the word suspended. He's just not gonna have any MLB eligibility. So,
oh,
yeah. So Billy Epppler, the general manager for the Mets. What do
mhm.
I say? I don't say suspended, right?
He's ineligible. Looks like he was caught putting players in the IL when they originally were not really hurt. So just he was doing that, like, let me put Carlos in the IL for 10 days just so I could open up a roster spot for somebody else.
Yeah.
And but it seemed like everybody in the MLB is doing this, Carlos. I feel like I saw that happen with the Dodgers last year with Noah Syndergaard. He was having a really rough time, couldn't really find himself. The Dodgers kind of just put him in the IL, kind of made up a whatever injury, and just said, "Hey, you know what? Find yourself, give you some time, go back, work it out, and then we'll call you back when you're ready. Let's bring up some kids from AAA." And that's what they did, right? So it's just weird to me how Billy Epppler is the scapegoat out of all of this, and how Rob Manfred found a way to point the finger at him and make him ineligible. And he's the one that resigned from the Mets at the end of the season. So it was kind of strange to me, man. I don't know. Manfred's doing his little dirty tricks again, and I don't know, man. It's kind of concerning for us fans because we don't like
Yeah,
it.
the thing is, like, you have to sometimes find a little what do you call it? You sent Noah Syndergaard, and he couldn't find it. The Dodgers have a record for having these guys that are having trouble come to the team, and then they just start glowing again. They start playing, they start performing, and you didn't see that with Syndergaard, so they're probably like, okay, well, let's send him to the IL. There's probably something wrong with his finger or whatever.
Mhm.
They go to the doctor, they get it written and whatever, and it happens. I don't know what Epler did. I don't know if that he just forgot that he needs to send people to the clinic, and then the doctor still works for them, and they go like, hey, you know what? Yeah, his finger is kind of swollen. Let's give him a 10-day IL stint. Maybe he didn't do that. Maybe he didn't send him to his team's doctor, and he just decided, let's just put him on the IL. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. There's protocols and things that need to be followed. There's all these things that need to happen before you can put him on the IL. So I
Exactly.
think that's what happened. I think he didn't follow protocol the correct way. He just felt like he needed to do something else besides just like, I need to send him to the doctor. No, like I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. He was with the Angels, you said, right?
Right.
He's the
Billy
one that signed Otani.
He's Billy Epler was previously with the Angels. He was a previous Angels GM. He's the one that was able to convince Otani to come to the Angels. And as Will's mentioning, there was a couple whistleblowers, player complaints, and I actually agree that that's what happened because I think most GMs and players actually agreed, like, hey man, Carlos, I'm gonna put you on the IO. Looks like you're not feeling yourself, something's off. And it's kind of an agreement between the player and the GM and the coach. They all
Yeah,
agree and agree that 10 days. But in this situation, I think in New York, what happened was a couple players must have not liked what happened. They must have felt like I should still be playing out there. I have no injury, and they must have went up to the MLB and spoke up. And that's
yeah,
where now Billy Epler is in trouble now. Unfortunately, can't have any activity with the MLB for the next year, the season, basically, right?
yeah.
So, and now it looks like, will he get another job? Will he be blacklisted now? Because once you're in Manfred's blacklist, you're not coming back.
Yeah, and I just feel like Manfred is one of those commissioners. I mean, who likes commissioners, right? Everybody boos the commissioners, but for some reason, it's just I don't have anything positive to say about that man right now. I just feel like with him, happening with in 2020, that it was just a piece of metal. Just from that speech in itself, I felt like Manfred's not a guy that it's a baseball lover. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the guy, but it's just like it's one of those things. Like, I don't like it. And this is brings us to the next, like conversation. The A's moving to Las Vegas. They're just saying that, okay, the Manfred wanted this to happen. Why did he come out last year or 2 years ago saying that, oh no, the A's are in Oakland, I think it'll work out and all this. And now that they're in Vegas, like supposedly moving to Vegas, because this is the story we're gonna get into, is that I feel like he wants the A's to be in Las Vegas. So um, there's a lot of controversy with this. I feel like they should have stayed in Oakland. They already came from Philadelphia, so they moved to Oakland, and now they're in Oakland. They're moving to Las Vegas, and it's sad for the people in Oakland because they're losing all their teams. They lost the Raiders, now the A's. They lost
The
the
Warriors,
Warriors,
they
right?
went
The
to San
Warriors.
Francisco.
Yeah, so like all these things happening, and it sucks. I mean, I don't know how it is to live out there and what's going on, but there's other ways to you can go ahead and do this. I think moving to Las Vegas, I don't see them being a baseball town. I mean,
No, it's gonna
right?
be tough. Vegas fans are, a little tricky now that you added hockey into the mix and now you added football into the mix there. It's going to be way more competition and baseball's a long season. So I'm not sure if these fans are going to be wanting to go to 81 games. And that's where it's going to be concerning that Las Vegas mayor doesn't feel like baseball's going to do so well there. She kind of said they should have stayed in Oakland. And I think a lot of players and a lot of fans will tell you that Oakland Nation deserve to stay in Oakland. If not, build them a new stadium. If you have to build a stadium 30 minutes away from Oakland, that's fine. Just keep them in the Bay Area. I think
Yeah.
that's where they really belong, and that's where the fans want. And I don't think Vegas will make any sense. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to convince any new fan bases to come and support them, especially how terrible the ownership is and the way John Fisher has just managed to sell every player they get. So
Yeah.
it's tough, man.
So, I mean, you see the Oakland Raiders out there already. Then they're bringing in a lot of fans, and they're bringing all these, new money up in there. But I just feel like the thing with the A's moving to Las Vegas is one of those things where let's go make that money like everybody else, and forgetting that the fan base is what matters sometimes. I mean, the fan base is the one that goes out to the games. They haven't gone in the last 2 years because the product on the field is not, it's nothing to be happy about, like
Yeah,
you
man.
have nothing but minor leaguers. So, I mean,
Their their
it's
only player that's showing signs of like being a pretty good MLB player so far is Brent Rooker, and that's about it, man. That lineup, that 1 to 9, you look at it and it's like it's not competitive at all. It shouldn't even
yeah,
be in the MLB, and it's kind of sad.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We'll get more news as it develops. I know they are gonna move. I know they're just having a little drama and all this thing. It's I mean, dude, it's gonna happen. Whether a fan wants it or not from Oakland or anywhere else. Like I think everybody was saying, sell the team in every
Mhm.
stadium out here in the West Coast. I don't know if it was happening in the East Coast, but I remember Dodger Stadium was one of them. Angel Stadium was another one.
Right. It
It's
was
not,
nice. It
it
was
was
nice to
good.
see. It was nice to see the MLB fans unite and push for something great for the Oakland A's.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next one, man. Vlad Guerrero had a breaking record arbitration deal that went his way,
Wow.
19.9 million. So, is this going to bring something negative to Vlad Guerrero? Um,
Ah, man.
I mean, it's a valid question, right? You start
Right.
thinking about these things, and you start like realizing, like once you go through this arbitration, and there's been a lot of stories, numerous of stories saying that once you go through arbitration with your team, it's not the same, relationship anymore. You have a totally different relationship. I mean, is Vlad Guerrero worth that money in your eyes?
He totally is. He's a superstar, Carlos. It comes from a generation of talent with the Guerrero family, and it's a proven hitter, just like his dad. I know he's had a pretty past couple of years, has been not the best seasons he's had, but he's looking to have a bounce back season, man. I just saw some pictures of him working out this weekend. He's looking like 20 pounds slimmer, looking lean, look like he's put in the time this offseason. So I'm hoping he has a bounce back season and shows that he's worth that 19.9 million because he's that kidder that could hit over 40 home runs any season, man, and could hit
Yeah,
over 300 batting average. So
yeah,
if he doesn't have that season though, I see the Blue Jays trying to get move off him and be like, you know what, start to find another player because they're not winning, right? They make
no.
the playoffs, but they're still not competing there to the level of the Rays or even the Orioles or even the Yankees. So they're still like that fourth team, unfortunately.
That's true, but that's a big time, like division out there in division in the East. So the AL East is one of those competitive leagues that you're kind of like, okay, who's going to win it? I know the Red Sox. I have a Red Sox hat. I know the Red Sox are the only team that's not really, you know,
That much.
done much, but the other four they have. And
Right.
and this is where I feel like there was a picture out there from the Blue Jays, and they had floor players, and it didn't have Vlad Guerrero. So
Oh,
this is why I asked, like, is he worth that money? And is it going to create a little bit of, you know, um, I don't know, fire between both of them and be like Team A and Team B? It happened with Corbin Burns. That was a salty relationship after arbitration. So it might happen the same way.
yeah, man.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Because then when we talk about free agency and these extensions, like these players want to get paid. They want to live comfortable and they want to get paid what they deserve, right? And their
Yeah.
agent's going to ask for all they want. So then Will says he called up too early. They should have let him grow a little in AAA before his MLB call up. And I get it, they did, but the Blue Jays were desperate, and I feel like at that time they needed to grow their fan base, and I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. did that for them. And
Yeah.
they brought up Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, all sons of previous MLB players, and they were able to hype them up like this is going to be the future. The Blue Jays are here to stay, and it hasn't really panned out. And Now we have the Orioles with a bunch of young guys, and Jackson Holiday coming up now, another son of a previous MLB player. And here we go again. It's like the story repeats itself in the same division, and we'll see how it all plays out for the Orioles. But right now, I feel like the Blue Jays are kind of stuck, and they don't know where to find themselves, how to make themselves that other tier, and how to be that dominant team in the AL East.
And how to get there. They have to go ahead and see. I guess pitching is a big thing in any team you have. Like I think it's never enough pitching. So we'll see what happens with the
True.
Blue Jays. And you're saying he might have a comeback year. I'm hoping for that too because he is one of the young bright stars. And to grow the game, he should be able to hit 50 home runs. I see 50. That man is just big, and when he swings that bat,
Hey
man,
man,
it looks like.
and he has pressure, man. His younger brothers are coming into the league too, and it's like a competition between these Guerrero kids, man. They all want to be like their dad. So
True, true. Well, this man got paid, but this man over here is saying that he wants to get paid minimum salary, and this is Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer came out last week in one of the podcast shows, and he said that would you? I mean, the question was asked, would you accept league minimum? And he's like, I'll do anything at this point. So
damn.
the thing with Trevor Bauer is that I feel like it got a little bit blacklisted. He got blacklisted from the incident that happened because remember the Dodgers were trying to trade him and it didn't happen.
Yep.
The other teams had a chance to pick him up even when they released him and nothing happened. So now he's out here pleading his, innocence and saying, I'm ready to play in MLB. Would you take him, Ernie? Would you
Oh
in
man,
your team?
you know what? Every MLB team, you guys can't be lying to me. I know all 31 MLB teams besides the Dodgers. Every fan base will say sign him for the minimum. Why not? Pitching is already hard to find, guys. And Trevor Bauer is a proven pitcher, man. A guy that has an awesome two-seamer, a nasty slider. This guy's incredible when it comes to pitching.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he got into some drama and cost them his $37 million in the suspension of 324 games. It got reduced to 194 games, but that's the longest suspension by any player in MLB history. And so
yeah,
that's kind of crazy to me, man. This guy went to Japan, had a rough start, and still finished the season 10 wins with 4 losses and an ERA of 2.73. I mean, I know the MPB league in Japan isn't all that compared to the MLB, but man, these Japanese hitters could still hit, and he still had
yeah.
to prove himself out there and still have some pretty great statistics. And I don't see why this guy shouldn't get a team. Unfortunately, I think the MLB owners just don't want no drama, and they're pushing back. And I know Bauer has apologized. He's even apologized to Manfred for being, D to him, and I think, and then because Bauer's been known to like say bad things about Manfred, he's apologized. I think it's just unfortunate he's in a bad situation. And it's kind of, is he going to go back to Japan now because nobody wants to sign him? That's going to be a really sad thing to see.
That's true. Kevin Oliver is saying that can't hit a curveball. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Vlad Guerrero. He's still young. He's going to learn. He
Yeah,
has a lot of power. His swing is just on there. And like I said, I like when the a player's young because he can still develop into that. And what Will always says, man strength, he hasn't even got there. Man strength
wait,
starts at 28.
how old
So
is Vlad Guerrero again? I think he's like
he's like
24.
20, 23, 24, dude. He's young as hell.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
really young. Getting paid money though. Big time
Yes.
money. Yeah. Thank you for that, Kevin. We'll go ahead and put Will's here. So he said won the Cy Young in Cincinnati, they should get him back. You know what? Cincinnati, everybody's talking about them. Everybody thinks that Cincinnati is ready to win the division. We said that with the Orioles. The Orioles went and got the man, Corbin Burns, in the trade, and I don't think they're done. Cincinnati needs to go ahead and do about the same thing. They need
Yes.
someone that's gonna guide that starting rotation so they can hit that next level. It's great to win the division, but isn't it greater if you can go into the deeper into the postseason to get more experience? So
Yes.
if that happens, that's going to be good. But Trevor Bauer has a lot to prove for me, I think, because if you are saying that you're apologizing for certain things and your attitude hasn't changed on social media, the way you're how can I say this? The way that you're looked at by other people because of the incident that happened, that kind of has to change too. I mean, I have nothing against the guy. I was rooting for the guy because I want him to be back in the MLB. He was kind of changing baseball, with the sticky substance and all these other
Yes.
things. He was talking about how to throw curveballs. He was changing the game. He wants to change the game, and not a lot of people are into that. he's one of those innovative baseball players that shows everything to everybody. And by what I mean by that is social media for him is huge. He has
Yeah.
his own YouTube channel. I like to see that. So if there is a team out there that wants him, I think they kind of have to go against MLB because MLB, like I said, blacklisted him, and I think no one wants to touch him for that reason. Um, do you know or feel like there's a team that needs him? That we already said Cincinnati. Well, you already said Cincinnati. So is there another team you feel that needs Trevor Bauer for the league minimum?
Man, I don't know, man. All 31 teams need him for the league minimum. I'll tell you that right now. There's not a single team out there that shouldn't deserve this guy. I mean, for what you're going to pay and what you're going to get out of him, why not? And I mean, I wouldn't mind if he came to the Angels. Give me him and
Yeah,
Cody Bellinger, and we could finish the offseason there. I'll be like, that's just enough.
yeah,
But we get to this point where, like, this guy, like you say, he has to prove himself again, and his social media is where he makes a name for himself. But
yeah,
man, unfortunately, he just got. We just need this one owner, Carlos. We need one owner to like go against Manfred and be like, you know what? I'll go ahead and sign him. I'll give him a
yeah,
chance.
yeah.
And maybe we're waiting for an injury in the spring training to happen, a major injury that could possibly happen, and a team could go down in pitching depth and be like, you know what? Why not go ahead and sign Bauer for that $2 million league
That's
minimum?
true. That's true. Chewy, what's up, man? How's it going? Will is saying that he should go to the Angels, White Sox, Cleveland reunion. Who knows, right? That's one of the things that we as baseball people would like to see Trevor Bauer go to. What if he goes to a contending team? There's plenty of teams out there that would love to have this guy on the roster. So we will see as the season goes on. I know his agent is not Scott Boras, so um, I'm pretty sure the first contract that comes through this door, he'll probably be like, "Let's do this. Let's do
Yeah,
this."
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All right.
There's go ahead, Ernie. I don't know if you
Oh,
want to read it up.
I guess Chewy is asking me. Gotta ask Ernie because he was right last year. Who's champion this year? Well, last year I said the
You
Rangers
said
were gonna
the
win.
Rangers,
It
yeah,
went before the playoffs started. I said the Rangers, but man, this year I feel like the Dodgers are gonna win it, guys. I mean, they're the favorites. I mean, they're gonna be MLB's billion this year, and for the next 10, 15 years, the Dodgers have became the new Yankees of today's generation. And I just feel like they're too powerful, and I think there's nobody out there that could really compete with them after this with this offseason going on right now. I just feel like, man, Dodgers went above and beyond, and they decided to spend all the money. And when you spend money, you win championships, unfortunately. But
yeah,
hey, man, it's going to be a good story if there's any underdog out there competing with the Dodgers and putting up a fight. That's going to be amazing to see. And that's how sports is sometimes, guys. There's always this heavily favored team, but then there comes this underdog that nobody saw coming and takes down the super
just writing.
powerful team.
I'm just writing them down, Ernie, because you said the Dodgers. It's recorded, so it's on there.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, if the Dodgers do win it and you pick it, that's two in a row. So we're gonna have to make you famous on that one. This
Nah,
guy's gonna
man.
pick the 2025 World
It's too
Series champ
it's
this
too
day.
easy, man. The Dodgers made it too easy, guys. They spent 1.2 billion. I mean, they're making it easy. Who else should be the heavily favorite to win? I think you guys would all agree that if you spend that much money, you should win the World Series.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Will's comment back on because I kind of like it. Sign with a bad team, get traded before the deadline. And that benefits the bad team because if the great team or the greater team that wants Trevor Bauer to get traded to, you can get prospect out of it and you can make your team and rebuild your team off of that. So I
Mhm.
think it's a great idea if a bad team sign them. I want to say the Pirates, because the Pirates, they don't spend money on their players and they should spend money on their players because what did we talk about? Like, I guess one of the last shows of last year, we said these teams are not spending, and teams
Yeah.
that are not spending, fans should be upset of that because you're putting your hardworking money into going to the baseball game and trying to see your team, succeed and go on to the playoffs, possibly win the World Series. If you don't put your money in your product, it sucks. You don't want to go to the game. So I think fans need to be excited for this. Maybe have a ace starting pitcher with them like
Yeah,
Trevor
man.
Bauer.
That would be
So
cool.
now we really cool. Hey, maybe the Angels, dude. That'll boost the starting rotation right there, big time.
If I'm the Padres, I'm calling ASAP.
you need to. You need to. You need to. He needs to. But
Yeah, man.
it is what it is, dude. We have a little bit of time, but we just have a little I guess a little show because I kind of have to go to practice for the little kids, and Ernie agreed to get on with me so we can go ahead and keep this going. I know it's supposed to be a power hour, and we're supposed to go all the way, but I mean, it was just a 30-minute show. But before we log off, I want to give, like I always do, Ernie, give your last mentions.
Well, I want to thank all the listeners for listening and tuning in. We appreciate all you guys for being here with us today. And if you guys could just make sure to give a like and subscribe. With football season finally being over, make sure to join us every Monday night. We'll be live here talking all the latest baseball news and all the latest trades and signings with this offseason.
Yeah,
There's a lot coming, so be ready, man. There's a lot of notable free agents that still haven't signed. Over 10 great players out there that need a team.
true. And if you don't know what has happened in baseball, the pitchers and catchers reported on Saturday or Friday for the Dodgers. I guess it was the first team that did that, and then the Padres yesterday. So the Dodgers got 2 days ahead of anybody, because they do have this series in Korea, so they have to get ready for that. But it is what it is, dude. Will, what is
Hey,
he saying? Short and sweet. Good show, fellas. Thanks, man.
yeah,
It's always a pleasure, dude.
Did you see the show? Did you guys see the Shohei preview of him batting the baseball in the batting cage today? It
That
looked
man can hit.
beautiful,
He doesn't even look like he had surgery, dude. It's just
man.
like he's just out there already hitting. So I can't wait to see him throw. I've seen him throw with the Angels. I went to Angel Stadium and seen him throw. Oh my god, that man can throw.
It's just hard seeing him in blue, man. It's gonna be take me some time to get used to. This red Otani jersey is just gonna be here in the closet for a while now, but it's gonna be interesting to see Otani in the Dodger blue. I'm excited.
Good, man. Hey, so if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We do have another show showing up later Thursday, early Friday. If we don't know, we're going to change the dates on that, but keep your eyes open for that. That's the fantasy portion of our show. If you have questions, you can go ahead and email Will, and Chavi is always available to answer those questions. We do have an Instagram, we do have a Facebook, we have a TikTok, we have X, we have. If you have a social media that we haven't heard, go ahead and put it on there so we can get on it, so you guys can have access to us and whatever we say. But from all of us here at Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.